Hey y'all, this month for book club, we are reading A Well-Trained Wife by Tia Levings. You can join book club in the Matreon, or there's an individual event for this as well, linked in Hub. We have signed hard copies also pinned here. They have just moved from Michigan to Florida, and they are joining a new big mega church, and the 10-year-old doesn't seem that happy about it. She has a stomachache every Sunday, Mom yelled at Dad in their bedroom several weeks later, pressuring him to pressure me to get my butt out of bed so we could make it to church by 8:45. I scrunched into a ball under my covers. I couldn't eat when I was unhappy, and not eating made my stomach hurt. A soft knock sounded on my door. "Can I come in?" he asked. "I don't want to go," I said. "Yeah, but if you do, we'll go out to dinner after. Sound good?" Sunday was the only day of the week Dad took off from woodwork and concrete, so offering dinner was high stakes family time. If I got up, we'd have a good day. If I rebelled and refused to get dressed, he'd spend the day in the wood shop working, and she'd spend it bent over her sewing machine. "I don't have any friends, Dad," I said. This was true. I'd been unable to make friends with anyone at school or church. Sunday school made it worse because the whole time they were talking about love and God and how great the youth group was for lifelong friendships, while I sat there feeling ugly and alone. "You've got me," he said. He looked at me hopefully, Michigan solid to his bones. I'd lost the solace of the trees, but Dad was still here. Wood dust, structure, unbending loyalty. "Oh, okay," I said. I swung my legs over the side of the bed and sat up, irritated and comforted at the same time. He closed the door, and I got up, went to the closet, and reached for one of the ruffled dresses Mom made. When I came out of the room, she said, "I'm glad you decided to cooperate." The four of us headed to the car, my parents dressed up and smiling. I tucked the lesson away into a mental folder I kept inside myself for things I needed to know. Church made Mom happy. The power to make them all happy was mine, and I could wield it by swallowing it down and cooperating. Smiling children who got in line made parents and God happy. As I walked into Sunday school, I tried to ignore the stares of shiny rich children wearing mall clothes. Most of these kids had been friends since the baby nursery. They had common names like Jennifer and Lisa, Jimmy and John. None of them knew what to do with a red-headed, pimply new kid named Tia in homemade clothes. Supposedly God loved us all the same, but how did that work? We weren't all the same. Some were rich, some poor, some good, some ugly. If church was a glimpse of heaven, then God played favorites. I sat down in a wooden chair off to the side. The seat next to me usually sat empty as the rows filled with the pretty girls. But instead, a girl sat down. I looked at her flowered dress and recognized the pattern from Cloth World. She had a home perm and barrettes in her hair too. Like me, I thought. "Hi, I'm Hannah," she said. "What's your name?" "Tia," I said, and she smiled. "What a nice and unusual name. Do you have any brothers and sisters?" "I have 4 sisters, 3 older and 1 younger. Their names are April, Charity, Jo, and Laura. We're like little women, plus 1. She laughed. She sounded like a little adult, but she just said more words to me than any person my age all year. I loved her immediately. The teacher stood up and rapped on her podium for our attention. "Now, girls, we have a new member. Please welcome Hannah. And girls, let's ask God for a miracle for her mother, who has cancer." We all gasped in collective oh no's of empathy. My stomach clenched. I knew from Trapper John, MD, that cancer was very bad. The teacher went on, "Hannah, we'll be praying for your mother and also your dad, who must be very worried, having 5 daughters. "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson," Hannah said. I wondered if her father would be less worried if he had sons. Was cancer something only women got? "Cancer is a consequence of sin in the world, girls," said Mrs. Thompson. "Hard things like cancer are never God's will, unless he brings you hardship to teach you a lesson. The Lord disciplines those he loves. We must submit to his good and perfect will. Now, girls, I want you to hold hands and let's ask Jesus to give Hannah's mother a miracle, if it's his will. We stood in a circle and took each other's hands. Hannah's was cold. Some of the girls started crying. I felt desperate to reassure her. Miracles were our superpower. Christians had a golden ticket out of our problems because the Bible was a book of miracles. Like the one where Abraham didn't kill Isaac, and the one where God didn't let the lions kill Daniel. God was all about miracle rescues. This was part of our doctrine. To get a miracle, the Bible said we just had to believe that God could do the big thing we asked. And then, because my own big thing sat like a rock in my heart, I weighed why my prayers to go back to Michigan hadn't worked. We were what Mom called headstrong. We didn't submit enough in Michigan. We didn't pray as a family or have devotions or go to church enough, so going back wasn't God's will. Like it or not, we had to stay in Jacksonville to be disciplined into becoming better Christians. The Bible even said people in hell could pray, although it might not do them any good. God didn't kill mothers, though, I reasoned. Hannah's mother would be fine. Over the next few months, we prayed every Sunday for Hannah's mother and her miracle. I squeezed Hannah's hand as we prayed, so she'd know I was believing extra hard God could and would do the big things we asked. As the weeks passed, Hannah's homemade dresses faded and her permed hair straightened. Then one Sunday, she didn't come. Girls, Mrs. Thompson said, smiling, Hannah's mother's with Jesus now. She's gone to heaven and Hannah will see her again someday. Let's not be sad. To die a Christian is to be with your Lord and Savior. To God the glory. The fatal finger in the sky knocked over the single domino of my friend because Hannah didn't come back. And God did kill mothers. He was in control, not us. If I didn't submit, he'd teach me a lesson too. I now knew God could take anyone at any time, and I didn't want to lose my family. Check out A Well-Trained Wife, My Escape from the Christian Patriarchy by Levings. And come and talk about it with her next Wednesday because she's coming to book club. Deeds in the bio.